Mario Brothers Wii!
The new Super Mario Bros. Wii is one of the best Nintendo games ever made. Besides being an ultra cute video game, it's quite challenging. The difficulty is more like the original Super Mario game from the 1980s, but modernized. Look at this widescreen view. And one of the toughest things to do in this game is to collect all of the star coins. There are 231 of them, across 77 levels and 9 worlds. That's what this video is about, collecting all of those star coins. It's quite the adventure, so here we go! First, it's a lot easier to collect the star coins if you have friends. This video is from the perspective of a single player, which is way more difficult.
Here we go!
We're also starting from scratch. This is a totally new save file. The last time I collected all of the star coins was almost 15 years ago. That's what's funny. It was so long ago that I forgot. This was like playing a brand new game. This also leads into one of the biggest themes of the video. You'll see it right here on the very first level, 1-1. So the beginning is a very good place to start. While Mario's girlfriend was just horribly kidnapped, this level is very cute and peaceful looking. Oh, there are enemies, but they periodically dance to the background music. That's adorable, but not very intimidating. Each level in New Super Mario Bros. Wii has a unique theme, some characteristic that makes it fun. This level introduces a new power-up, the Propeller Mushroom. So, to make this work, you'll want to be big. Try to get a regular power-up mushroom before reaching the propeller power-up. But don't worry, if you can reach the checkpoint flagpole, that will change regular Mario into Super Mario. To the right of the flag is where you can find the first star coin. Just hit the question block to reveal the propeller mushroom. Catch it and Mario can fly. A shake of the controller can send Mario airborne. That's the big theme of this video, and the game. For many of the star coins, it's just easier to get with Propeller Mario. While more difficult, it is possible to get the second star coin without the Propeller Mario power-up. First, look for a big spinning wheel in the ground. It's right next to a hidden 1-up mushroom. The side of the ledge looks like a cave entrance, which is the clue for this secret. The challenge is spotting the hidden pipe entrance. So, timing matters. If you don't get there in time, it's a little bit of waiting until the pipe spins around again. I'll intentionally lose the propeller power-up to show you an alternate solution. There it is. Once underground, the location of the star coin is quite apparent. Yet, it's way higher than a normal jump. No problem, you could use Propeller Mario, or you could wall jump. That's actually pretty fun. And that solves the mystery of the second star coin. The third star coin is just a little bit to the right from the exit of the second star coin. There's a little wooden fence at the top of a hill. The coin is just above that. Another clue is a sign with a red arrow, but it's pointing to the right, not upwards to the star coin. Regardless, this is not a very well hidden coin. What is the challenge is making the jump to the upper platforms. This is easy with Propeller Mario. Just a quick flight makes short work of this task. But what if you don't have Propeller Mario? Well, you could bounce off one of the enemies to get an extra boost. Yet this is a Propeller Mario level. You can tell by the coins at the end of the stage. It's as if the game is expecting you to float towards the top of the flag to collect an easy 1-up. But if you can't line up that approach, Propeller Mario can still easily reach the top. World 1-2 is nostalgic, reminiscent of the 1-2 level in the original Super Mario Bros. Just go through the pipe to explore the subterranean level. The music is such a 1980s throwback. Do you hear that iconic bass line? Memories. Anyway, the Ice Flower is the main power-up on this level. As Ice Mario, you can freeze the enemies. Then you can pick them up and smash them. Such a cute game, and yet so violent. So, the first star coin is right near the start. Very little effort is required to collect this one. You might need to time your jumps with the moving ground, which appears to be a giant purple gemstone, although you can shorten the weight with a well-placed wall kick. Or you could use the propeller. There are lots of options. Perhaps this coin is easy to find as a way to introduce you to the massive quest. The second star coin is a little more difficult to obtain. Fortunately, it's not too far away. Look for a platform that can be rotated with the Wii controller. You'll know it when you see it. But if you need another clue, it's also near an ice flower block. Hang on a second, the turtle is making too much noise. Chill out. So the initial focus might be the power-up block. The platform is rotated clockwise to reach it. But for the second star coin, the platform should be rotated counterclockwise. Or you could use the propeller. The point is to get to that pipe. It leads to another area, an area with the second star coin. Once on the other side, the objective is to climb. But without platforms, how is that accomplished? There's a hidden P-switch, which can turn the coins into blocks, and the blocks into coins. Triggering the switch will release the Goomba, so be careful. You'll also want to be quick after hitting the switch, but if you make good jumps, you should be able to reach the top in time. That's where you can find the second star coin. If smushing mushroom-shaped militants is your mission, then you'll love this next part. There's an invincibility star to be found in this lower path. This allows you to travel at greater speed through the level. Despite numerous enemies, you can run unimpeded. Although, watch out for the gaps and try to avoid hitting walls. That could be a problem. The third star coin is where the puzzles start. You can see it right in the center of the ground. But how can you reach it? The secret is the green pipe to the left. Yet it has its own puzzle to solve. How to break those bricks? Well, if I can stop messing around with the piranha plant long enough, I can show you. Basically, a ground pound will smash those blocks. But you'll need to be Super Mario in size. If you're a little Mario, you might have to redo the level. A turtle shell could work, but the nearest one was just obliterated with star power. On the other side of the pipe is a room. There are coins at the top and 2 Goombas below. The main attraction is the POW block. Just hit that to shake loose the coins, which includes the big star coin from above. With the enemies defeated, Mario can grab the coins and then take the exit to the right. There's one last thing about level 1-2. It has to do with another rotating platform. If you can get all of the red coins, a fire flower will appear. Or a 1-up. It depends on what you have already. That power-up can be useful on the next level. It's optional, but fire power has greater range than ice. What's not optional is completing the level. Gotta reach the flag to lock in those star coins. To reach the top of the flag, there's another rotating platform. That gives the added height necessary to make the jump. Or you could just use the propeller. 1-3 is the first Yoshi level. That's a cute dinosaur-like creature that can greatly assist Mario. There's a Yoshi egg in one of these blocks, so the first thing to do is find that egg. Also, this is where the fire flower helps a lot. That hammer-throwing turtle was no match for such superior firepower. Yoshi can be found right after that fight. Just hit the center block to release Yoshi. He has quite the appetite, as he can eat lots of stuff. The first star coin on this level is easy to collect, as it was specifically designed for Yoshi. Just follow the trail of coins to the star coin. Holding the jump button causes Yoshi to float just a little bit more. It's called a flutter jump, but if you miss that jump, Mario can simply jump off Yoshi for an extra boost. It's another easy way to grab those star coins that are just out of reach. Or you could use the propeller. The second star coin is just past the checkpoint. Look for a yellow pipe. It's actually split in two. That fact is revealed by standing next to the hidden entrance. Just take the lower yellow pipe to the secret area. And again, this is an opportunity for Yoshi to shine. A flutter jump will lead straight to the star coin. Using Yoshi for added height is also another option. The propeller hat is yet another solution too. Once back on the outside, there's a great opportunity to collect a few 1-ups. Just use Yoshi to eat the fire-breathing piranha plant. Then shoot it back out towards a line of enemies. Awesome. While you're raising your foes to the ground, the third star coin appears. Like the other two, it's up pretty high. There are a few solutions to this problem. One of the easiest is to have Yoshi eat the piranha plant in the red pipe. That clears the way for Mario and Yoshi to jump on top of the pipe, and then flutter jump to the coin. The only thing left to do is to get past the twin Hammer Brothers. Yoshi can catch one of their hammers and then use it offensively. Once the area is cleared of enemies, there's a 1-up hidden in the blocks. After that, it's a quick flutter jump for another 1-up at the flagpole. That's a good reason to keep Yoshi safe. But even if you do make it to the end of the level with Yoshi, he merely waves goodbye to Mario. It's too bad Yoshi can't go with you. Instead of keeping Yoshi as a big help, the game throws you a detriment. Toad was kidnapped and stuffed into a question mark box. So we're back at World 1-1 to find him. When you're close, you can hear him yelling from inside the box. No worries, Toad. We can break you out of there. What is the problem is that he needs to be carried to the flagpole. Are your legs broken? They look fine to me. This puts Mario at a serious disadvantage. While carrying Toad, Mario can't fly or use some other power-ups. He also can't fit into certain spaces. It's like redoing the level on hard mode. Toad doesn't even have the necessary height to grab that star coin. But if Mario can safely carry Toad to the flagpole, that's 3 extra lives. If Toad was hurt, then that's only 1 extra life. Toad is on our side, so he had to be rescued. We're not quite back on the hunt for star coins just yet. There's a warp zone to be found in 1-3. It's really close to that fiery piranha plant. If you look above the mayhem, there appears to be a cave entrance. There are lots of coins inside, but that's not what's special. Above this secret cave is the real secret. Jump up out of the view and then run to the right. It's a pretty high jump, so you'll need Yoshi. Or the propeller power-up. This way leads to a hidden tunnel, which then leads to an alternate level ending. You can tell because the flag on the flagpole is red. Clearing the level opens up a new path. It leads to a cannon. That's the name of the level, World 1-Cannon. Nintendo was using emoji as conversation long before it was popular on the iPhone. This level is not very big. It's just a short run to the World 5 cannon. Mario can jump inside to blast past 4 worlds. Although that's not going to help with the Star Coins quest. So this is just to unlock the world. And then head back to World 1. Ooh, scary. This is a level where Propeller dominates, but switching to Ice Flower to show you an alternate approach. The World 1 Fortress level scrolls vertically, which is why flight is so useful. But either way, you'll climb to a point with a swing and a power-up block. That's when you should be careful with your ascent. If you go the wrong way, you might miss the star coin. It's on the left side. While you could go around again with this particular star coin, it's easier not to miss the first time. Next, the second star coin is on the right side. However, the path is obscured. But with a little ice boost, you can see the hidden area. The star coin is inside. This coin is not so forgiving. If you miss the opportunity to collect it, you can't scroll backwards. The blue platforms only allow passage in one direction. Once you collect both star coins, lock them in with the checkpoint flag. That way, if you die, you can continue with both star coins already collected. Being Small Mario can actually help a little with collecting the third star coin. There's a gap between the wall, and regular-sized Mario can walk right through it. That makes it easier to reach the third star coin, which is on the right side of the level. A slide and some wall kicks can get the job done. But obviously, this is easier with the propeller power-up. With all 3 coins collected, the next objective is to prepare for the boss fight. It's going to be tough with normal Mario, so that mushroom helps. There are other boosts available too. One great way to power up is to collect all the red coins. That can yield a fire flower. The coins were all pretty close together, so this particular challenge was not too difficult. But if you miss, there's another power-up near the 2 red doors. If you maintained your Super Mario Mushroom power-up, then a fire flower awaits. The real bonus of the fire flower in this particular fight is the extra health. As Fire Mario, he can take 2 hits before dying. 3 hits means try again. Yet that's the same amount of hits needed to defeat the boss. So it's a race to 3. That's why fire is not so powerful. It takes 5 fire hits to count as 1 round of damage. Simply stomping the enemy is much faster. That was the finishing move in this fight. Clearing the level and then saving the progress is a good way to keep those star coins.
Let's go!
1-4 is a water level. Such levels are notoriously frustrating in video games. This one's not too bad. But you'll probably want the ice flower if you're going for the star coins. While it can be easier to roast the fish, freezing the fish is needed for the added height. The downside is that turning a fish into a block of ice doesn't always eliminate it. That's one of the main challenges of the level, navigating through a sea of deadly ice cubes. At least the background music is nice. And fortunately, for roughly the first half of the level, the only thing you'll need to do is survive. There are no star coins before the first checkpoint flag. The first star coin can be found immediately after the checkpoint. The coin is spinning slightly above the water. The problem are the enemies in the way. That's where Ice Mario can go to work. By freezing the enemies, it's much easier to make the jump and collect that star coin. The second star coin is not so easy to get. But if Ice Mario is ready for action, the difficulty can be sidestepped. First, freeze an enemy for added height. Watch your shots though. The idea is to have the ice cube avoid the walls. Otherwise, the ice will shatter. Now, with Mario standing on the ice block, he can jump higher. But what's this? There appears to be blocks blocking the way. No problem, just do a curved jump around them. In other words, jump left, then pull back towards the right. You'll land right on top of the structure. With a short walk to the gap, you can easily collect the second star coin. Trying to fight the current from the 2 red pipes is a bit too difficult. Avoiding that mess is a nice strategy. The third star coin is really close to the second one. Actually, both could fit on a widescreen display. The first problem is to not get eaten by the giant clam. But the real challenge is to freeze that spiky enemy. The lower red pipe is creating a water current that will push Mario up and away from the star coin. But by freezing the enemy, it will quickly shatter out of the ice and then fall downwards. This blocks the red pipe and then Mario can swim through, collecting the third star coin. The safer way to exit this space is to take the green pipe. There are lots of power-ups in this underwater room. If your timing is strong, 2 1-ups can be snagged from the clams. But since all of the star coins were already collected, I'm switching back to firepower and making fish for dinner. The star power helps too. That should be plenty of offense to clear the rest of the level. Not bad for a water level. Actually, pretty good. That was fun.
Oh yeah, Mario time!
If the previous level was a water level, this level is something of an air level. That's why it's important to have the propeller. It's just going to be easier. The propeller mushroom is even available here. So, to avoid lots of crazy jumps, or sudden death from falling below, Propeller Mario is the way to go. The first star coin can be found near the beginning, where there are 3 groups of looping blocks. The objective is to get above that mess. You could try timing your jumps, or you could simply use the propeller. Once on the platform above, hit the left block from below. If you ground pound this block, the plant won't grow in the correct direction. But here, it's a simple climb to the secret area above. Once you've made it to this area, getting the star coin should be straightforward. Well, there are hidden blocks in the middle, but just go around those. The propeller makes short work of this task, but riding the moving blocks could work too. Either way, the star coin is in the middle. Collect it and then fall back down from the right. The second star coin is more tricky. It's found on the side of a big green spinning block. That's why I'm lugging this turtle shell around. Mario doesn't actually have to touch the star coin. He can just throw a turtle shell at it. Mission accomplished. But you could also wall kick to the coin or use fancy moves with the propeller. Again, it's important to keep that propeller power up. But if you lose it, collecting these red coins can help. With the propeller, getting the 3rd star coin is a trivial task. It's simply on the way, while jumping across these spinning platforms. After that, just keep making good jumps until the end. The flagpole is not far from the 3rd star coin. Just clear the level to move onwards with the quest. Although, to move forward in the quest, Mario has to move backwards. World 1-5 leads straight to the castle, but World 1-6 is an alternate way there. If you're going for all the star coins, both levels need to be completed. Level 1-6 is essentially an extension of 1-1. While most levels have a unique experience, this one's pretty much the same. Although it is nice to toss a turtle shell towards these coins. And like usual, the propeller is the stronger power-up. While the fire flower was available, being able to fly is more helpful. You can see this with the 1st star coin. It's just floating a little too high for a normal jump. You could try bouncing off the turtles, but that's dangerous, as shown by the loss of my propeller. There's a chance to get it back on the other end of this beanstalk. A random power-up is available in that block. While the star was not what I wanted, it can help with the next star coin. After using the pipe to exit the bonus area, Mario lands next to the star coin. Instead of having to time a turtle jump, he can jump straight at the coin. Mario doesn't get far before the 3rd star coin. It's hidden in that cave. Just use the big wheel to make the jump. Once on the other side, move as fast as possible to the upper right. That's the location of the star coin. The reason for haste is to avoid the Goombas. An infinite supply drops out from the pipes. However, it's not a constant stream. After the 3rd pair of Goombas, that's the chance to escape. Although, watch out for the dance bop. That sudden change in movement could harm Mario. Once on the other side, do what Mario usually does. Run to the right as fast as possible. There's a nice chance for a triple jump towards the end, but my timing was off. Fortunately, the height was good enough for a 1-up.
Mario time.
World 1 Castle is really good at creating the mood. It sounds so dramatic. The music is going, the lava is bubbling, there's an undead turtle walking around. Oh, and there are giant gears. They don't seem to be connected to anything, which seems terribly ineffective. But it does look pretty imposing. Yet, when you stay focused on the mission, the 3 star coins in this level are actually pretty easy to collect. You can see that right away with the first star coin. It's on one of the smaller, gigantic gears. To get the coin, Mario has to jump. That's what he does. It's like asking a fish to swim. The only real challenge is not getting hit on the landing. That's why Ice Flower is great for this level. That turtle is not coming back from that. There are certainly lots of opportunities to get the Ice Flower on this level. But you don't need it for the second coin. Instead, just stand back. Let the big guy do the hard work. Boom! Now it's easy to collect the second star coin. Just get out of there before that thing strikes again. The third star coin is not too difficult to get, but it is easy to miss. Towards the end of the level, there will be some gears to jump across. They lead to a really big gear. It almost pushes you towards the right, but the secret is the green pipe below. That's the way to go to get the third coin. Once in this special room, the P-switch is the key. By turning the coins into blocks, Mario can safely travel over the lava. Then it's just a standard wall kick to the coin. It's a thing of beauty. Once outside, you could switch to firepower. That might help with the boss fight. But not really. It's the same as before, just land those stomps. But I suppose if you're feeling creative, tossing fireballs could work too. I tried going that route, but 2 stomps ended the battle. Mario gets the key.
Mario #1! Woohoo!
But I'm not sure what it does. It's not like the front doors were locked. But anyway, all of the star coins on World 1 were collected. Next up is World 2. If World 1 was the grassy world, World 2 is the desert world. This is also an opportunity to save the progress. Don't want to lose those previous star coins. The road splits right at the beginning, but since the objective is to get all of the coins, World 2-1 is first. That's on the left. This is the Sand Geyser level, which I'm surprised to learn is a real phenomenon. Although I'm not sure how close this game is to reality, these geysers blast off periodically, and Mario can ride on them. But when the geyser turns off, Mario could fall to his death. That's the essence of the level. It's a creative adaptation of platform jumping. That's also the idea regarding the first star coin. While Mario is wearing the propeller helmet, a rising rush of sand can lift Mario to the coin. Sometimes star coins are just mini tutorials. They show you how the game works. The second star coin, which is located shortly after the checkpoint flag, is not hidden at all. It's right there. It's visible in plain sight. By carefully jumping over the piranha plant and then sliding down the side of the structure, Mario can grab the second star coin. But to keep the star coin, navigating the sand geysers is critical. Gotta stay alive to keep the coin. The blasts of sand are taken to the extreme with the third star coin. Do you see it there? It's towards the bottom of the level. There are 2 main ways to get this coin. The first, as usual, it's easier with the propeller. Mario can simply jump towards the coin and then fly out to safety. But what if you don't have the propeller? What can you do? Well, remembering back to the technique used in 1-5, Mario doesn't actually have to touch the coin. He could simply throw a turtle shell at the coin. Unfortunately, it's pretty difficult to get a turtle shell over here. There's a flying red turtle, which can be used to get the coin, but that requires expert level timing.
Let's go.
If you skip this coin until later, when Toad is on this level, there is a more unethical approach. So, the propeller is recommended. But if you've got the skills, the turtle shell works too. Once the third coin is collected, it's imperative to make it to the flagpole. This level is fairly difficult, especially considering it's the first one on this world.
Oh yeah, Mario time.
The difficulty really ramped up in this game. World 2-2 is not easy either. Specifically, each of the 3 star coins on this level is harder to get than usual. It's almost like punishment for not warping.
Why don't you use the cannon? Go back and use the cannon. Skip this world entirely.
But that's the nature of the star coins. It's playing this game with a greater challenge. So, while you're on your way to the first star coin, you can collect a 1-up. By tossing a red turtle shell on this rising platform, it can take out the other turtles. However, there is a problem. That same turtle shell can take out Mario. But with well-placed jumps, Mario can easily survive. Once at the top, you'll have a choice to make. Should you touch the checkpoint flagpole? Here I skip it. That's because there's a tough fight below this sand. If I die, I don't want to restart from here. By the way, I'm not sure why the sand doesn't kill Mario. He seems to be really good at holding his breath. Does he even breathe at all? This way leads to the star coin. But before you get there, this is something of a bonus area. By triggering the P switch, lots of blue coins become available. With some wall kicking, Mario can collect even more coins. Yet we're only here for one coin in particular. That's the first star coin. It's in this cave, but it's guarded by 2 foes. They have the high ground, so it can be tricky to get to the coin. Here I'm using the ice flower to freeze them. They can't throw those spiky balls while they're frozen. That worked. I'm surprised that I didn't take damage. With the coin collected, there's no reason to stay here. The green pipe, which is next to the up arrow, can blast Mario back up to the top. The second star coin, wow, it requires a slightly awkward jump. This floating yellow platform is part of the secret, yet with the spiky balls, you might run past this area to survive. That's why clearing it out is a good first step. With a lower risk of death, Mario can focus on hitting the far left block. A ground pound won't do. That will send the vine in the wrong direction. The block should be hit from underneath. That sends the beanstalk to the sky. Once in the clouds, it might not be so apparent that a star coin is near. Oh, it's here, but it's at the end of this area. So be ready. You don't want to miss your chance. If you have the propeller, it's not a big problem. But for this Mario, he needs the POW block. Grab it. Then, when the yellow platform is under the star coin, toss the POW block onto the yellow platform. That's the second star coin, with a lot of regular coins. The third star coin is trouble. That's because Mario needs to go into this little pipe. He doesn't fit, not even as regular-sized Mario. However, there is a power-up, if you can call it that, which will shrink Mario into Tiny Mario. Look for the conveniently placed pipe that is opposite of the small pipe. There are some advantages to Tiny Mario. With forward momentum, he can run over water. He also hangs in the air longer. And surprisingly, even though he's little, he can still pick up those barrels. Now Mario can fit inside. For some reason, the tiny mushroom is also in this area. I'm not seeing how else you would get in here unless you already had the tiny mushroom. Oh well, it could be a multiplayer thing. As a solo player, I'm just going to wall kick to the star coin and then get out of here. But if a teammate is actually a troublemaker, then Tiny Mario could cause grief. With all 3 star coins collected, the only remaining problem on 2-2 is to clear the level. Tiny Mario exited the cave near the flagpole. So the only thing left to do is hear high-pitched Mario claim the flag. On level 2-3, the first thing to do is get rid of Tiny Mario. While there is a slight advantage to staying small on this level, firepower is just too useful here. That's because this level is dark. For the first part of the level, actually for much of the level, avoid the fireballs from the piranha plants. If you can make it, a fire flower awaits. That power-up helps to light things up. Near the beginning, there's a ledge to a yellow pipe. It could be slightly orange. It's hard to see in the dark. Yet, the room it leads to doesn't have a star coin. It is a quick way to get some extra lives, but that's not going to matter really soon. You'll see at the end of this level. But for now, the first star coin is near a star in a block. Tiny Mario can run underneath, but it's almost as easy to jump around. The star coin is on the other side, but to keep the star power going, hit the block before the star power wears off. If you can make it in time, another star pops out. That second star and the star coin can be collected together. Unfortunately, I didn't get to prolong the star power a third time. That means the level darkens again. No problem, the location of the second star coin is easy to spot. See, it's illuminated by the bouncing fireballs. Just take out the source. And then go back to collect the coin. Towards the end of the level, it is a bit of a firefight. Look at those giant plants. That's when you know you're close. After the 2 big plants, 2 other smaller plants are hanging upside down. Since I want to go up, I'm taking them out as a safety precaution. Instead of taking the pipe at the bottom right, it's a wall kick to the upper level. From there, just walk to the right. That's the location of the third star coin. But the fun is not over. This is one of the most important locations in the game. And that's not just because it reminds me of the 1980s. Do you see that turtle? He's part of a really cool trick. Oh wait, I messed it up. I'm just going to put him back at the top again. I'll lose Fiery Mario, but that's not a problem. Here we go again. And jump. What? I messed it up again. Hang on, I'll be right back. And jump. That's how it's supposed to go. And now Mario has 99 lives. And he takes off his hat. That was hard work.
It's a good time.
World 2-Fortress is a standard vertical scrolling level. Considering the difficulty of the first 2 levels on this world, this one's not too bad. Although I still have trouble getting all of these blue coins. We're not here for those coins though, the current objective is getting the first star coin. But with this nice 16:9 view, that coin is in plain sight. It's way off to the side, so the propeller would help. But you could just go around and then grab the coin from the other side. A nice slide on the left side will get the coin. But if you somehow missed it, don't go through this yellow door. It only works in one direction. The second star coin is right here. What's that? You don't see it? Well, let's start throwing stuff. Did you see how that shattered? It was halfway in the wall. A few balls of ice also show a clue. That wall is fake. The second star coin is inside. The third star coin is not hidden at all, but you'll need good climbing skills to get it. If you try to grab it while the grate is moving upwards, the spikes could kill you. That last hit put Mario at a disadvantage in this boss fight. Fortunately, it's not too difficult. The main thing is to not be on the ground when this happens, which sets up a perfect opportunity for a counterattack.
Mario #1! Woohoo!
Just 3 good hits ends the fight. A World 2-4 is a great level. It's the windy level, but don't try it without the propeller. In a single-player game, flight is quite needed for 2 of the star coins. And it's nice to have for the first star coin. So, where's the first star coin? There's an invisible block near this structure. Wait for the wind to slow down, and then hit that block above. That triggers a beanstalk to a separate area. There's the star coin. Except there's one problem. Invisible blocks are blocking the way. That's where the propeller mushroom power-up can help. If you just fly at those invisible blocks, it's lots of easy coins. 63 to be precise. Plus a 1-up mushroom. And the first star coin. The second star coin is near the checkpoint flag. It requires 2 really good jumps. The first is making it to that green pipe. With the wind blowing, a mistake can easily be fatal to poor Mario. So watch those gusts. The propeller was used to avoid tragedy. The second jump is here. The star coin is at the center of a big drop. But with good timing and the propeller hat, Mario can get the coin. The third star coin has a ridiculously far jump. It starts from this ledge. Be careful, the wind can push you off the side. So here, Mario jumps with the wind, then hits the propeller just as he's about to die. It's an intense jump that can easily end badly. But with all 3 star coins collected, it's a fairly easy run to the end. Just watch the wind and those spikes. However, there is an alternate exit on 2-4. Do you see that structure in the sky? You can get in there. By using the propeller, you can jump to the side. Then, using wall jumps, you can gain even more height. If these jumps are timed with the wind gusts, Mario will get pushed back towards the wall. This allows Mario to scale the side of the wall and then enter the red pipe inside. From there, it's just a few regular jumps to the red flagpole.
This way!
That opens up the alternate path. It's a shortcut straight to the castle. But since the objective is collecting all of the star coins, Mario heads back. World 2-5 is another Yoshi level. This one's fun because of that thing. I think its name is Pokey, but I'm not sure. The point is, Yoshi can eat them. Listen carefully to the music. It notes a change. Instead of being made of spikes, they're made of tasty oranges. With the proper timing, Yoshi eats them whole. But if you're looking for the star coins, the first one is behind that cloud. One of the ways to get there is to hijack a cloud. The point is to get high enough to reach the star coin. For the second star coin, look for a piranha plant that is near some yellow blocks. On the right side is a way to a hidden area. It's dark in here, but if you move the light block around, you can see the second star coin at the top. Yoshi's flutter jump can get you there. The propeller can also get you there. Or a simple wall jump can get you there. For the third star coin, it's very close to the end of the level. I was running out of time trying to find it, so instead I just locked in the 2 coins that I found already. And then tried again. But just like with the first star coin, hijacking a cloud solved the problem. It was just a short flight to the third star coin. Although this cloud couldn't go much further. That was good enough. The level was cleared again to lock in that third star coin.
Oh yeah, Mario time!
A World 2-6 is similar to an auto-scrolling level. Once on the big, pink polka dot square, it slowly moves along the path. The challenge is maintaining your space while various enemies try to knock you off. That's why the propeller is great for this level. It gives you more room to work. And soon after the Star Coin quest is in action. The first one on this level is waiting right there. The jump is a little awkward, but not much of a problem with the propeller. A big challenge is making the landing. So careful jumping is a big part of the level. For the second star coin, the propeller solves the problem of impatience. A quick flight to the green pipe shortens the wait. On the other side of the pipe, there's a star coin that's very high in the sky. But with a cloud bounce and a propeller spin, Mario can easily collect the second star coin. If you don't have the propeller, the blocks at the bottom can help. But once back on the polka dot train, watch out for a pesky foe. The third star coin is not too difficult to get, even as just a jumping Mario. But it can be a challenging move to make when under constant fire. At the end of the level, there's a decision to make. Should you clear it normally, or should you go for the alternate exit? Oh well, since Mario doesn't have the propeller, that's an easy decision. But to complete the map, level 2-6 needs revisiting. Near the end of the level, there's a red pipe in the sky. It's tough to reach, even if Mario can fly. A good way to do it is to wait for the pink polka dot square. When it's turned 45 degrees, Mario can jump from the highest point. That's just enough height to reach the red pipe. That pipe leads to an alternate exit, as noted by the red flagpole. The end result is not really that special, as this hidden path leads to a cannon. It's just another World 5 cannon, which was already discovered in World 1. So if you're interested in skipping to that world, it's much easier to do that from World 1-3. On World 1-Castle, the first star coin is right there to greet you. That's why it's great to start with the propeller. It makes the star coin easier to get. From there, this level is like a maze, similar to the ones in the original Super Mario Bros. I just picked the high road for the first area. Mario walks along the path. And then there's a happy sound. Basically, I picked the way that seemed the most difficult. The second star coin appears soon after that challenge. If you're Big Mario, there's no problem. Just quickly smash the blocks and grab that coin. It's easier with the propeller, but wall jumping works too. For the second path, again I wondered, which is the most difficult? That's the one blocked by the piranha plant. Actually, there are 2 of them. So that's the way I went. After a little bit of slow walking, another happy sound was heard. Immediately after that event, the third star coin is available. To get it, hit the P-switch. That creates a layer of bricks, separating Mario from the lava. Move quick to grab the coin. The path splits for a third time. Since I picked higher first, then lower the second time, I figured middle was the way to go. There's that happy sound again. So with all the star coins collected, only a boss fight remains. The pipes at the top do add more challenge, but it's the standard race to 3. The strategy is similar to the fortress level. Don't get caught on the ground while looking for opportunities to counterattack. I'm a little disappointed about losing the propeller, but the job got done.
Mario #1! Woohoo!
World 3 is the Christmassy winter level, which is surprising since it's next to the desert.
Ichigo!
World 3-1 introduces the Penguin suit, which changes Mario into Penguin Mario. It's kinda like the Ice Flower, but with the ability to belly slide. That's the secret to the first star coin. You can slide right through these bricks. Clearly, this level wants to show you how the penguin suit works. Although, be careful with your slide, because if you do it wrong, Mario could be trapped. Alternatively, if you don't have the suit, or if you don't want the suit, you can still get the coin. A different solution to this puzzle is to use a nearby turtle shell. It takes a little determination and patience, but the bricks can be shattered that way. You don't even need to touch the coin. Just toss the shell at it. The second star coin is near the checkpoint flag. You might want to delay touching the flag, as that would only lock in one coin. Additionally, this coin is much easier to get with the penguin suit. Even the regular ice flower could work too. Both could be better than the propeller, as flight is a little awkward in this tight corner. Basically, the coin is floating over a piranha plant. The solution is simple. Just freeze the piranha plant when it's fully extended. That creates a temporary platform, so be quick. But what could otherwise be a very dangerous series of jumps is actually not too bad. Once the second star coin is collected, that's when it's a good time to activate the checkpoint. The third star coin is fairly close. It's not too far from a trail of red coins. As Penguin Mario, this part is pretty quick. The location of that 8th red coin is the clue. There's a green pipe on the other side of a brick wall. So unless you want to lug a turtle shell way over here, Penguin Mario is the best way to get in there. On the inside is a penguin freeway. Those blue and white birds constantly slide through. That's good, as they help with getting the star coin. Here Mario freezes one of the birds, then simply rides to the star coin. Well, maybe not so simply. Trying again. Did you see that? If you don't freeze the penguins, Mario will just stomp them. So ice power is pretty useful in here. That's the third star coin. The only thing left to do is clear the level. I'm being extra cautious with the jumps. Fortunately, the flagpole is not too far away.
Oh yeah, Mario time!
World 3-2 is about height. The star coins on this level are just out of reach. Fortunately, or perhaps unfortunately, there are lots of enemies for additional bouncing. Mario can freeze the turtles and the bullets to get extra height. That's the challenge of the first star coin. It's not hidden, it's right at the top of that pink tree. Naturally, a propeller mushroom would make this easier. However, the main power-up on this level is Ice Flower. So, freezing the enemies and then using them as platforms is an excellent strategy. Do watch out for incoming fire. But again, that could be a disadvantage or an advantage, as Mario used a bullet for added height. The second star coin is tucked away on the other side of a green pipe. With all of the chaos on the screen, it's easy to miss. But in the middle of a valley lined with cannons, there's a green pipe to the second star coin. You can't see the star coin at first, but it's here. Look at the coins at the top as a clue. They lead to the goal. See, there's the star coin. With all of the enemies, you might have trouble keeping your power up. But even if you can't freeze the bullets, you can still jump off them. From more of the right side, group the bullets together. Then jump off 2 of them. And then wall jump to the second star coin. The way to the third star coin is found soon after. But unfortunately, the way is blocked by a snowball throwing turtle. No problem, just go around. There are lots of cannons to the right of the third star coin. Just line up your jump, and then go for the coin. It was just easier to avoid the fight. From there, just continue to avoid trouble, until you get to the flagpole. Although it is tempting to bring lots of bullets with you, they can turn into lots of points once the flagpole is reached.
Oh yeah, Mario time!
World 3-3 is an ice cavern level. It's a little tricky, so grabbing that 1-up mushroom can help. To get the first star coin, it involves navigating these icebergs. They're slippery, so Mario could easily slide off. The game teaches you a lesson. It's bad to fall into the water. Mario might get squished. But this is misdirection. Almost immediately after learning how the icebergs work, the game distracts you. There are lots of things to look at, such as the spikes from the ceiling or the Goombas dropping in from above. But the first star coin is hidden below. This ice pillar has a secret, an invisible wall. This level forces the player to look up, which is why it's pretty sneaky to put the coin down low. The second star coin turned into a snowball fight. Unfortunately, Mario doesn't have the long-range damage of fireballs. So instead, it's just a matter of waiting for the right opportunity. Eventually, the Goombas will spread out. Then Mario can sneak in, and then smash the blocks from below. With the area cleared out, the second star coin is easy to collect. The third star coin is at the end of a long trail of ice spikes. But that coin is wedged into the corner. Mario is going to need some tools to get it out. Fortunately, a barrel was found at the beginning of the level. Just carry that barrel close to the coin, and then toss the barrel at the coin. That solves the mystery of the third star coin. And now just return to the surface, via the pipe at the top right. From there, it's just a short run to the flagpole. This is the ghost house. That's the first star coin. What, did you need a big speech? Well, this place is like a maze. The trick is navigating through the various doors. The problem is that those doors could be hidden. That's where the fire flower can help. By shooting the walls, hidden paths can be revealed. This is a perfect example. Where are the fireballs? They're inside. This is a hidden exit. On the other side of this door, Mario can climb upwards. There's a door at the top, but if you want the second star coin, don't leave yet. It's hidden below. Just jump into the left wall to collect the coin. Now that Mario has the coin, the door at the top left is the way to go. The third star coin is also hidden. This one's even more difficult to find. Now that Mario is in the room with the rope across the ceiling, the objective is as usual. Go to the right. However, those ghosts aren't cooperating. While it takes a little longer, I like to lure the ghosts away from the rope. Then I just rush past them. Keep going until you see this pattern of coins. There are 8 of them. Then fall down from the middle. This leads to yet another secret door. Once on the other side, Mario needs eyes on the back of his head, as he's surrounded by ghosts. Here I'm just moving back and forth as quickly as possible. That freezes the ghosts in place, which keeps Mario out of trouble. This continues for a short while until the platform suddenly drops. That's the cue to move to the right. The third star coin is hidden in the wall. Now it's time to party. There's an invincibility star in that block. Once collected, touch as many ghosts as possible. That's a great way to get points and lots of one-ups. You might want to reverse the order, getting the star before the star coin, but that's up to you. To maximize star power, I got the star first. It's a flashy finish to a fairly tricky level. There is a problem though. Since Mario went this way, it leads to an alternate exit. That's a red flagpole.
This way.
It unlocks the way to a cannon. So if you wanted to skip to World 6, this is a way to do it. But since this is a Star Coin quest, we're going back to World 3. And unfortunately, to progress on World 3, the Ghost House needs to be repeated. The path starts off the same. Take the hidden door, and then take the door at the top. That brings Mario back to the room with the rope. Instead of dropping down to the secret door, ride the yellow platform to the right side. We're not done with the secret doors though. There's one hidden behind this wall. Now Mario is in an area that is similar to the one with the third star coin. But again, it's another star party. When the party is over, there's a door at the bottom. That door leads to the standard flagpole.
Oh yeah, Mario time.
Ooh, there's that dramatic music again. World 3-Fortress is, well, it's not really that different from before. The main attraction are these big spinning pieces, kinda like an angry version of Tetris. This is a good opportunity to practice your wall jumping. Once you make it to the top, jump to a hidden door on the right side. That is the way to the first star coin. This is where your ninja jump training is put into action. The star coin is at the top. A ball of spikes moves clockwise. But it shouldn't be too difficult to avoid. The other challenge is making it to the other side. So you could split up the tasks. First focus on the coin, and then plan your escape. There's plenty of time on these vertical levels, so you don't need to rush. The second star coin involves a rising yellow platform. It's not this one though. So you can safely grab the checkpoint flag, if you already have the first star coin. This creates the opportunity to power up with the ice flower. That's useful to have for this part, perhaps even safer than the propeller. That's because these turtles won't return if smashed with ice. It's actually a two-part battle, as the spiky balls will add to the confusion. They're actually necessary to reach the second star coin. Just avoid them, timing your jumps around their bounces. Once you reach the POW block, pick it up. Don't hit it too soon, or that will ruin things. Once the path to the second star coin has been cleared, then you can destroy the spikes with the POW block. After the chaotic mess of this second star coin, the third one is not too bad. It's just spinning around in that little space. Whoops. Falling back down. So the challenge is to get in there, while avoiding taking damage. That's why Ice Flower can be useful. It's not an absolute necessity, but ice can help you to battle the turtle. For the boss fight, you could power up before going through the doors. Once on the other side, it's a beach ball battle. The general idea is not too difficult. Just get high enough to land attacks. The bounciness of the balls can help with that. You can even fight aggressively, as shown by the final hit. That wraps up this level.
Mario number 1!
World 3-4 is a throwback to the original Super Mario World. There are dotted squares throughout this level. A red switch needs to be activated to make them appear. When the red blocks are on, this level is much easier. Yet, if you're trying to save time, all 3 star coins can be collected without the red blocks activated. You can see this with the first star coin. It's right there. You don't need anything special to get it. You just need to stop the fiery turtle. Tossing an ice block is a great way to accomplish that. The second star coin is hidden, but it's hidden in a pretty obvious way. It's right in the middle of this ice platform. The way in is very simple. Just ride the moving ice platform. But don't do that. Trying again. Just like before, you don't need anything special to get this star coin. You just need to not die. Nice job, Mario. With the second star coin collected, the checkpoint flag is safe to activate. For the third star coin, I'm not quite sure what the developers were thinking. It's just right there. I'm not seeing the challenge. While there is a fiery turtle causing trouble, he's a problem regardless if you're going for the star coin. Sorry, Mario, no mushrooms in there. Anyway, with all 3 star coins collected, this level can be wrapped up quickly. Except there's a problem. That problem is not all of the coins that just fell from the sky. Actually, the problem is with the flagpole. It's a red one.
This way!
Which means this is an alternate exit. World 3-5 is another split level. What that means is that there are 2 exits. But unlike the previous level, you cannot reach the alternate exit without the red switch activated. That also means the second and third star coins are inaccessible. Fortunately, you can still get the first star coin. Even with a little propeller block, it's easy to fly towards the coin. Once the coin has been collected, there's not much else to do but reach the flagpole. Now the path to the red switch is cleared. The dotted blocks are turned into red blocks. To get the second star coin, it's a matter of returning to 3-5. With the red blocks turned on, that makes the level much easier. That's because now there are safety platforms. But for the star coin quest, the important location is at the top. There's a red pipe, which is now easily accessible to Mario. The second star coin is not hidden. It's just right there, next to a red turtle. And lots of ice blocks. Watch out for those blocks, as Mario can't fly if he's holding an ice block. For the third star coin, you don't need me to tell you the location. You'll see it as the polka dot square rises upwards. The trick is not getting hurt by the flying turtles. First, there's a wave of red ones. Then there are 2 waves of green ones. That can make it a little challenging to clear the level. Fortunately, the red flagpole is on the other side of the pipe. And now World 3-4 needs to be repeated. It looks a bit different with all of the red blocks. Basically run through the level, like normal, until you see this red pipe. With all of the red blocks, even Super Mario can get inside. It's just a little slide. On this part, I probably should have just thrown a block. But I was having fun with invincibility. The end result is pretty much the same. The flagpole is on the other side of this tunnel. Just take down the black flag to clear the path to the castle. World 3-Castle is a frosty level. It has some creative challenges required to collect all 3 star coins. For the first star coin, it starts with sliding blue blocks. Initially, the challenge is not getting crushed by giant icicles. With Mario in that suit, and with all the ice, it kinda reminds me of Ice Climber. But at some point, the icicles stop, and then the beach balls appear. That's a dramatic switch. So just use the balls to bounce to the upper blocks. They'll collapse if Mario stands on them too long. So speed is important. Or you could just use the propeller. The second star coin appears right on the other side of the pipe. But to get it, Mario will need to do some blasting. Fortunately, this castle has bombs, or Mario would have to turn around and go home. But basically, it's 2 main detonations, one to drop below and another to get the coin. If you're careful and your aim is good, it shouldn't be too much trouble. The third star coin starts with another sliding platform. Just stay focused and patient. This one is not too hard to get, but it is important to be careful. If you run too far ahead, Mario could fall from the collapsing blocks. Constantly jumping solves that problem. You could also try to get ahead of the moving platform. The basic idea is to find your window of opportunity, and then make it back safely to the sliding blocks. For the boss fight, fortunately there's a conveniently located power-up just before the battle. This boss fight is similar to the one before, except the required jump height is much higher. Also, there's a risk of falling down to the sides. So it's important to watch out for that. Trying again. This time I'm using the penguin suit. That makes it another 3-hit battle. The first one there wins. The last round could be the toughest, as that's the one with the largest ball. It's tricky to make that jump. Mario barely makes it. And then he claims the castle key.
Mario #1! Woohoo!
World 4 is a beautiful beach area. It seems peaceful at first, but just like a real beach, there are lots of hostiles that can hurt you. Like that thing.
Pixago!
That's why you might want to power up before starting World 4-1. There are so many enemies here, and the penguin suit can help with stopping them. But if you're going for the first star coin, the ability to freeze the enemies is especially important. Otherwise, that coin is just out of reach. That's where the ice flower or penguin suit can really help. Just freeze a nearby enemy, and then float to the top. Of course, propeller is another alternative. To collect the second star coin, the process is similar. It's a lot easier if you don't mess it up. Well, I suppose that is an obvious thing to say in general. But if you miss, just keep freezing that purple spiky thing until it's close to the star coin. Then just jump off it like a platform. That's a common way to collect a second star coin. The third star coin is near the end of the level. Maybe you're an awesome player who somehow managed to keep the propeller all the way here. But for regular players, the strategy is similar to before. Freeze the enemy. Then use that block of ice as a platform. You'll need to be quick, as the ice doesn't last long. But that short hop is enough to get around the water current. That's how to get the third star coin. And then take the conveniently placed pipe to the end of the level. World 4-2 reminds me of 2-3 in the original Super Mario Bros. Players tend to warp right past it, so it's not seen as much. And if not for the star coins, we'd warp straight past this one too. But fortunately, this level is a quick one. That's quite apparent with the first star coin. It's above the barrel. The jump is not a problem, as long as you don't linger. Get the star coin and then get out of there. The second star coin is... it's another stealth tutorial. The placement of the coin shows you how the ledges work. So just have Mario slide above the coin, and then press down to grab the coin. That's nice and easy. And Mario can climb back up once the coin has been collected. The third star coin is also pretty easy. It's right there in the middle. So Mario can fall down the left side, and then scooch over towards the coin. The challenge is not getting hit by the enemies, but that's not too bad. The only thing left to do is clear the level. The flagpole is not too far from the location of the third coin. Nice level.
Oh yeah, Mario time!
World 4-3 is designed for Tiny Mario, but we're going to avoid that as much as possible. The first star coin practically greets you on this level. It's just a few short jumps to get it. First onto the yellow platform, then to the block above, and finally to grab the coin. That one was quick. For the second star coin, star power helps a lot. Tiny Mario is great at this part, as he can run on the water. But to avoid repeating this level, or having to go back for a Tiny Mario mushroom, the penguin suit also works. Just dash to the coin before invincibility wears off, and then grab the checkpoint flag to store that progress. The third star coin, it requires Tiny Mario. Fortunately, there's a conveniently placed mushroom right next to the tiny pipe. It's invisible, so it's much easier when you know where to look. Just remember that Tiny Mario needs a running start to stay above the water. Trying again. I'm not sure what Nintendo is trying to say here. Are those two in love? Regardless, this level is just about done. There are some scary looking jumps for Tiny Mario, but again, this level is designed for Tiny Mario. Just run straight through with some smart jumping. The flagpole will soon be in reach. On World 4-Fortress, the first thing to do is get rid of Mini Mario. There is a mushroom right at the start, so that solves that problem. That's important with the first star coin. I couldn't reach it with Tiny Mario. Look at the jump. Super Mario barely reaches it. So yet again, propeller would be useful. The second star coin is not too far away. It's hidden in a wall, which is just before the checkpoint flag. So it's important to grab the coin before touching the flag. Otherwise, Mario will be locked out on the other side of the fortress. With both coins collected, it's safe to touch the flagpole. While trying to get the third star coin, you might notice a hidden exit. If you can get to the left wall fast enough, before the giant metal blocks close the entrance, there's a green pipe inside. That leads to an alternate exit. This opens up the path to the World 4 cannon. That cannon leads to World 6. However, there is unfinished work in the World 4 fortress. That third star coin awaits. To reach it, you don't need to do anything too fancy. You just need to reach the coin right before the last block falls. While watching the conveyor belts above, just wait until the path is clear. Then, on the last one, just grab the coin quick. If you can get there before the block falls, and it doesn't land on you, that's the third star coin. That just leaves the boss fight. The battle is pretty basic. Just avoid the circles, and bop her on the head 3 times. That clears the level.
Mario number 1! Woohoo!
World 4-4 is similar to World 1-4. It's another water level. But here, the enemies are extremely aggressive. That's why firepower is quite nice on this level. And just like World 1-4, there are no star coins before the flagpole. The first star coin is easy to miss. At least I missed it, because I skipped the P-switch. I was enjoying invincibility, and swam right past the yellow pipe. So on a return visit, I hit the P-switch. The water current was turned off, allowing Mario to swim inside the pipe. Once on the other side, it's a matter of freezing the single enemy. That gives Mario the height he needs to grab the star coin. The second star coin is in the middle of a star party. While swimming through the chaos, the coin is just spinning near the bottom. Grabbing it is easy while invincible. And if you're fast enough, another star can be found. That dramatically reduces the risk on this part of the level. The third star coin is hidden in here. The space is big enough for a small submarine, so it shouldn't be too much trouble to grab this star coin. And after that, the level is pretty much over. Just jump to the flagpole to win. The World 4 Ghost House can start off with invincibility. A star is hidden in the wall to the left. It's a nice way to get a 1-up, but it's also useful in clearing out the area. Emptying the room helps with collecting the first star coin, which is hidden near the beginning of the level. We can count the boxes to the coin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the 6th platform. Now just wait. There it is! The first star coin. On this particular run, I got the third star coin next. There's a hidden door behind this platform. After taking this door, the location to the third star coin becomes pretty obvious. It's spinning high up in this secret area. If you had the propeller, there'd be no waiting, but alternatively, you can just stand on this platform. It will rise up towards the star coin. That solves that problem. After grabbing the third star coin, the way out leads to an alternate exit. There's the red flagpole.
This way!
It opens up a shortcut to the World 4 castle. But since we're on the hunt for star coins, we're heading back to the ghost house. This time, a different door is used. It's protected by those blocks. The way in is hidden. But by riding this platform to the top, a P-switch can be found. That turns the blocks into coins, clearing the way to the next star coin. I'm not sure what this hole is about. I tried to get in there with Tiny Mario, but it didn't work. Actually, the star coin is hidden on the opposite side of this area. Just run all the way to the other end. The walls are fake. Mario can jump inside and collect a second star coin. There's also a door that leads to the exit. The flagpole is not far away from that door.
Oh yeah, Mario time!
After all the difficult levels before this one, World 4-5 is a welcomed sight. It's a Yoshi level, so that's fun. But also you can ride the clouds, which is fun too. Using both is an easy way to get all of the star coins on this level. But if you're looking for specifics, the first star coin is above the first piranha plant. It's not even that high off the ground, so the cloud isn't necessary. The path to the second star coin starts with this palm tree. It has a long line of coins. Simply use the cloud to follow those coins. The second star coin is in the middle of that gold rush. The third star coin is on the other side of a green pipe in the sky. Just hit a cloud block, and then hijack that cloud to reach the star coin at the top. The rest of the level isn't too difficult, as long as you can hold on to Yoshi. If you can, it's a flutter jump to the top of the flagpole.
Oh yeah, Mario time!
The World 4 Castle is a mix of challenges. The first are these giant spiky things, so avoiding those is important. But also there are these grates. There are two sides, front and back, which can make the level a little confusing. This game mechanic is used with the first star coin. Behind the fence is the star coin, but Mario can't reach it. How does he get to the other side? Well, some of the fences have spinning doors. If Mario punches that door, while he's holding onto it, then Mario can travel to the other side. That's how to get the first star coin. Just move behind the fences and then grab the coin. This is another one of those tutorial star coins. It's a game tutorial without words. The second star coin is easier to locate. There are no fences blocking the way, although the risk of harm is dramatically increased. Those fast-moving spikes could impale Mario, so he can just hold on to the fence, waiting for the right moment to grab the coin. The third star coin is just before the boss fight. It's on the other side of that green pipe. Watch out for the giant spike. But with good timing, Mario can easily get to the pipe. On the other side, there are lots of undead fish. The fireballs don't harm them. So the strategy is to get their attention, then swim away from their charging attack. If you play this carefully, it shouldn't be too difficult to collect the star coin. And once Mario returns to the main area, he immediately sprints towards the gates. With such speed, the giant spiky thing couldn't touch Mario. The boss fight can be a little trouble. That's because it starts underwater. Mario moves very slowly in this environment. That's where fireballs can help. But if you don't have fireballs, just bop her on the head again. If you're quick enough, you can stop her before the second wave of water.
Mario
But what?
World 4 is not over yet. An airship level remains. This is one of those Lord of the Rings questions. Why doesn't Mario just fly to the end of the game? But with the warp cannons, it's basically the same effect. Since we're going for all of the star coins, that's not an option here. The first star coin is easy to spot. Collecting that star coin requires a little more effort. It's a matter of timing the jets of flame. Getting to the coin is not too bad, but getting out can be tricky. Here I'm just going back to get a running start. That makes it easier to avoid being burned. The path to the second star coin starts right after the checkpoint flag. Just smash the boxes that block the way to the green pipe. There's also a power-up in these boxes, so that's nice. Once on the other side, there are metal nuts that spin along a line. Mario can move this platform forward with constant jumping. If he didn't keep jumping, he could fall to the ground below. From the second spinning metal platform, Mario can get the star coin. One good jump puts the star coin in reach. The third star coin is in an area with a lot of fire and a lot of bombs. You can see that I was struggling to survive. In just a few seconds, Mario lost 2 power-ups. One more would mean death. That's why this part is tricky. A bomb is needed to clear the way to the star coin, but I was having trouble making that toss. Stand too close to the wall, Mario could die in the explosion. But too far away from the wall, Mario could be burned by the fire. Also, the walking bombs arrive in pairs. It's pretty chaotic. But after studying the timing and figuring out the distance for the throw, the crate was eventually destroyed. That clears the way to the coin. What are you waiting for, Mario? Go get the coin.
I'm scared! Mamma mia!
With the third star coin collected, only the boss fight remains. Fortunately, it's not too difficult. Just avoid the fire and try to hit the enemy from above. Even though Mario was at a disadvantage, 3 consecutive hits ends the fight.
Mario number 1! Woohoo!
If World 1 is a grassy world, World 5 is what happens if you stop mowing the lawn. It's a forestry world with lots of trees and vicious enemies. Like those things, piranha plants are even more creepy when they're out of their pipes. I should have brought firepower. But fortunately, the first star coin is not too difficult to find. It is hidden though. It's in this giant turtle shell. Just smash the suspicious looking ground and then Mario can walk right inside. The second star coin is exactly the same idea, but this time there are some enemies in the way. This red turtle can be used to solve that problem. Did you see that? The fish swam inside. That's a clue. Just swim around and get inside. That's the second star coin. Mario can exit from the other side and then grab the checkpoint flagpole. The third star coin also involves a giant turtle shell. Just swing on the vine to get a really good jump. It's funny, in the 1980s, just swinging on vines like this was almost a whole video game. The star coin is not actually in the giant turtle shell. Instead, there's a green pipe. It leads to a secret area. The main threat is the enemy up top. There is a POW block in the middle, but this time Mario is going to use ice. With no enemies in the way, reaching the coin is easy. You can be a little creative here, but the main idea is to take the upper pipe. Once on the other side, it's a simple vine swing to the top of the flagpole. World 5-2 is the Wiggler level. At least I think they're called Wigglers. They're basically giant caterpillars. The first star coin is near the beginning. What's nice about these creatures is that they're bouncy. That helps Mario to get the first star coin. Just watch out. After you jump on them, they get angry. This POW block will calm things down. The second star coin is right on the other side of the green pipe. The Wigglers are much bigger now. Oh, and they can drop in from above, so try not to get tricked or trapped. But here, Mario easily grabs the coin and then a power-up. The third star coin is a bit out of view, but with a good bounce, Mario can make it to the upper path. Then it's a run to the right to reach the secret area. The star coin is way at the top. Fortunately, a conveniently placed propeller block puts the coin in reach. Once back on the Caterpillar Trail, it's just a little more bouncing to reach the flagpole. The land of crazy creatures continues with World 5-3. Like, what is that thing? It seems to have a peculiar mode of transportation. But if you're trying to get the first star coin, knowing how these enemies move is important. Of course, the propeller mushroom makes this easier. Actually, it's too easy. Well, let's see if Mario can do this without the ability to fly. Did you see the number of lives dropped? This way is much more difficult. But with a jump off the frowny face, Mario gains the height necessary to reach the coin. The second star coin kinda involves this green pipe to the sky. Well, it's indirectly. The star coin is not here up top. But when Mario exits this bonus area, he lands right next to the second star coin. The way in is blocked, but that's where this turtle can help. Just use the shell to smash those bricks. With firepower, it's easy to stop the ricochet. After that, it's a quick slide inside. The third star coin is floating above that purple stuff. It's a little tricky, but basically stand on a falling block. Only stand on one of them, or this could be trouble. Once Mario touches the coin, quickly jump to the other block. With constant short jumps, Mario is not in danger. Just wait until the suction cup foe leaves the area. After that, just survive until the flagpole is reached.
Oh yeah, Mario time!
The World 5 fortress is spiky. Throughout the majority of the level, walls of spikes swing left and right. It really slows things down, unless you have the propeller. The first star coin is not too far up. The challenge is not taking damage. I'm not doing so well with that. But from this platform, it's a safe jump to the first star coin. The second star coin is a little more tricky. There will be platforms towards the right, but the star coin is on the left. So don't rush ahead. Otherwise, Mario will be stuck on the other side of the blue platforms. That could have been cleaner, but mission accomplished. This is what that looks like without taking damage. The third star coin is near the end of the level. Mario is going to smash some bricks in order to get this star coin. That wasn't fast enough to get inside, but that helps during the next pass. Wall jumping helps too, as you don't have to get too close to the spikes. For the boss fight, the difficulty is typical. For some reason I was trying to use fireballs. But simple brain stomps is more effective. World 5-4 is... it's not one of my most favorite levels, but this one is pretty good. However, there was a problem. I struggled way too long with this one. We'll get to that soon. But first, here's an explanation of how the level works. There's a raft, but it has something of a weight limit. It's more like an object limit. If there are 5 things on the raft, other than Mario, then the raft won't move forward. Power-ups and coins count too, so you might not want to use firepower. For the first star coin, Ice Flower is better anyway. The coin is just out of reach. Of course you could use the propeller, but that could be more difficult. For beginners, ice is nice. Just freeze a turtle, and then use it as a platform. That puts the first star coin in reach. Also, ice is great for a one-up trick. Just let the little Goombas gather together. Then clear them out like it was Wii Sports Bowling. Nice. The second star coin involves this POW block. If you're trying to get the coin, don't hit the block right away. Just carry it over until the raft is below these 2 coins. A lot of stuff just fell from the sky. Fortunately, there are a lot of power-ups on this level. For the last star coin, I wasted so much time trying to figure it out. And I had done it before. I just couldn't remember how I did it. The ancient wisdom was lost. I tried Tiny Mario. I tried throwing a turtle shell. I just couldn't get under that space. Can you figure it out? Do you know what Mario is supposed to do here? Well, it's something of a trick question. The secret is not trying to squeeze through. Instead, blast your way in, not from the side, but from the top. Those gray blocks are destructible. Once the way is cleared, the third star coin can be collected. That's a good level if you know what to do. To complete the level, just take the green pipe to the flagpole. Nice. Mario is back at 99.
Oh yeah, Mario time.
Just because we're above the tree line doesn't mean World 5 is done with crazy looking creatures. There are these flying... stingrays? I'm not sure what they are. But they are platforms. This level has 2 other interesting characteristics. First, it's an auto-scroller, so it tends to slow down the pace. After all the chaos before, this is a nice relaxing level. It's also the halfway point, as this is the 39th star coin level. There are 77 in the game. So let's keep going. The first star coin is right there. If it was softball, it would be the slowest of pitches. If you don't have the propeller, there's a propeller block. It's not necessary though, as a simple jump is enough to reach this coin. For the second star coin, I'm using the propeller mushroom. Normally in this tutorial, I don't go with the easy route. But since the propeller mushroom is available, it seems reasonable to use it. Besides, the propeller has a great feature for this level. It can clear out the clouds. That makes it much easier to see what's going on, and here it reveals a hidden star coin. For the final star coin on this level, just grab the POW block, and then bring it to these coins. They kinda point downwards, with a double arrow arrangement. Then, once the stingray create a path, drop the nuke. The third star coin will fall from above. After that, there's not much to the level. Just zip through the green pipe, and then grab the flagpole. In the World 5 Ghost House, there are a lot of different doors. That's why, if you're going for all the star coins, try to go in order. This is apparent with the first star coin. The nearest door leads to it. Just go through that door, and then run all the way to the upper right. There's a fake wall with a star coin inside. After taking the nearby door, Mario will be back at the beginning again. This works perfectly, as now he can move on to the next door. It's at the lower left. This part of the house has severe water damage. There's obvious flooding, and some sort of pest infestation, which could negatively affect the property value. But the main thing of value here is all the way at the right. It's the second star coin. Just grab it and get out of here. This puts Mario at the beginning again. That works as we're moving towards the third star coin. Basically, navigate through the maze until these two doors are reached. It's the one on the right. On the other side, this room will have lots of ghosts. They're moving in a circular pattern, similar to the game on the Super Nintendo. With proper timing, it shouldn't be too difficult to get that last star coin. Now it's a matter of escaping. Mario is sent back to the beginning again. This time, run all the way to the end. It's the upper door on the far right side. This leads to a room with a lot of moving bricks. Just be careful and keep going towards the right. That leads to the last door and ultimately to the flagpole. We're not done yet with this ghost house. There's a secret exit. Firepower can help find it. Before the final door, there's a lower path. That area has a fake wall on the left side. Just run through it. That leads to a different area. This place has light switches that cause platforms to glow. Unless you're trying to speedrun, slow and careful jumps can work. Just keep progressing towards the right. That will lead to another door, which then leads to a red flag. This unlocks the path to the World 5 cannon. It's a big part of the game, as this cannon can blast Mario to World 8. As previously mentioned, this is the halfway point of the game, so taking this cannon now skips a lot of levels. And since we're going for the star coins, that means we're going back to World 5. The World 5 castle is standard operating procedure. There is not too much difference here. And yet, I like this level. It's probably the giant spinning fences. Those are fun. There are projectiles to avoid, but it's not too difficult, even without the propeller. But fortunately, the propeller is available on this level. If you're going for the first star coin, the ability to fly could be helpful, but not necessary. Instead, a slide down the wall is used. Just as Mario's sneakers are starting to singe from the bubbling lava, wall jump to the other side. I prefer that method than using the propeller, as trying to shake the Wiimote might be less precise than pressing a button. But anyway, that's the general idea. The second star coin is not as radical. As you progress through the level, you should see this wheel. Climbing up the right side reveals some coins. Climbing up the left side is the real secret. Once Mario is close, a secret door is revealed. But once again, flight might yield certain advantages, but playing this one slow and safe can work too. Just watch the timing, and it should be easy to grab the star coin in the middle. Once the coin is collected, exit through the same door. The third star coin is soon after the checkpoint. You can either jump from the fences or use the propeller. This one's not too fancy. If you've made it this far, collecting the third star coin shouldn't be much of a problem. That just leaves the boss fight. It's a matter of watching the direction. With each hit, that direction changes. So it's a matter of landing the stomp before getting chomped. Mario did take a little damage, but managed to land the 3 hits.
Mario #1! Woohoo!
World 6 is a mountainous level. It kinda looks like Death Mountain in Zelda. But with lots of cannons. Unfriendly cannons. Different from the ones to warp past levels. For the first star coin, just get the propeller. What? It's World 6. I'm taking the easy way. The second star coin can be easy too. It's located in the middle of moving platforms. There is a challenge in not getting hit, but if you drop in from above, it shouldn't be too bad. As for the third star coin, the propeller is recommended again. Like a cookie jar on top of a refrigerator, this star coin was placed out of reach. That's why it's just easier to fly. The level was cleared to lock in those 2 previous star coins, and then the level was repeated. With the propeller suit, Mario can easily reach the star coin. After that, it's a return to the flagpole to clear out the level.
Oh yeah, Mario time!
World 6-2 goes underground. It brings back that strong bass line. Nice. So as Mario moves towards the right, a giant piranha plant appears. That's the clue that you're close. Once on the other side, there's a little window. The first star coin can be seen spinning inside. So the question is, how to get in there? The secret is with these spiky creatures. They can be thrown at the bricks. I'm picking up the ice flower first. It can be safer if they're frozen. So just freeze the enemy, and then chuck it at the bricks. It's important not to miss. No problem. There are plenty more of those critters in this level. Trying again. That didn't work either. This just isn't working. This is what it looks like when done correctly. First, Mario can pick up the spiky enemies, if they're knocked upside down first. Tossing it from here takes care of 2 problems. First, the really big piranha plant is eliminated. But also, on the rebound, the bricks are destroyed. That clears the path for Mario to get inside. To do this safely, I'm freezing the bouncing spiky shell first. Then it's just a slide inside. The second star coin is not too far away. It involves a trio of piranha plants. Freezing the middle one could solve this problem, but Mario doesn't have that ability right now. The propeller could also fix this problem. However, there is a more silly solution. Just run ahead until Mario catches the attention of a bat, and then lead it back towards the green pipe. With a well-placed jump, Mario can reach the star coin. Not as easy as with the propeller, but quite satisfying. The third star coin is a matter of timing. Did you see how Mario just missed the pipe? It can take approximately 45 seconds for the pipe to come around again. So this star coin could be missed by simply running through the level at the wrong time. Fortunately, you're watching this nice video, so you don't have to make that mistake. There's the pipe again. On the other side, there is a bit of risk. So hit the P-switch, and then don't get stabbed. After safely evading the enemies, grab the star coin before the P-switch turns off. For the remainder of the level, there is significant danger, especially with these two enemies. But once on the other side of the green pipe, the flagpole is very close. World 6-3 is also underground. However, this level is a bit more violent. There are so many giant piranha plants on this level. Without any offense, the best Mario can do is just evade them. However, with the first star coin, Mario does get a chance to fight back. Trying to wall jump next to that hostile plant is just too dangerous. Instead, just toss a shell at it. That clears the path to the first star coin. The second star coin is very close. That's why it's a good idea to bring another shell. It can be used to eliminate another piranha plant. That clears the path to the coin. The third star coin requires a bit more effort. But if you have fire power, it's not too bad. That can be obtained with a checkpoint and power-up combo. Then run towards the right until these blocks are in view. Mario is fighting his way through several vicious piranha plants, so firepower is quite helpful. Once the way through is clear, smash the blocks, and then head upwards. Good job, Mario. Nice work. A few wall jumps will bring Mario to another area. Compared to the rest of the level, this area is quite peaceful. It's basically a room dedicated to the third star coin. It also has a power-up block. The remainder of the level is dangerous, but with careful progression, Mario can get through to the outside and then grab the flagpole. World 6-4 is a Yoshi level. That's nice because there are a lot of enemies on this level. Specifically, moles. They pop out of the sides and cause trouble for Mario. So it's important to hold on to Yoshi. That will make a big difference with the first star coin. That's because the coin is pretty high up. Yet with Yoshi, the coin is easy to reach. The second star coin is near the checkpoint. There's a green pipe that is difficult to reach. That's why the propeller is recommended. Maybe a falling jump off of Yoshi would work, but that's just mean. Once inside the cave, the star coin is pretty high up. There's a POW block in here too. But that just makes things look prettier, because if you have the propeller to reach the POW block, then you can just fly straight to the star coin. The third star coin is kinda sad. I just got Yoshi back, but to make the jump to the third star coin, I couldn't reach it with Yoshi. It was tough to park him with the falling platforms. Poor Yoshi. Anyway, with the propeller, it's easy to fly into this hidden cave, and then grab the third star coin. After that, it's just a matter of clearing the level. That part is pretty easy, since the flagpole is not that far away. The World 6 Fortress is... Imagine if you owned your own stone tower and you're considering defending that structure. After much thought, you think,
Spikes. I want 2 giant spikes that constantly smash into each other. Oh, and those spikes should have spikes on them too.
That's the World 6 Fortress. Anyway, if you're looking for the first star coin, it's hidden on the left side. There are fake walls opposite the platforms, making it dangerous to go there. But just look for safe spots and watch the timing of the spikes. The second star coin is near the checkpoint. I probably should have gotten the coin first. Having the propeller does create a distinct advantage. It's just a quick flight to the coin. But if you don't have the propeller, then it's a matter of timing and a well-placed wall jump. The third star coin is near the end of the level. The secret is not to panic. Instead of trying to rush to avoid the spike, just keep playing smart. Wait for your moment and then go for it. The coin is more towards the right side. That just leaves the boss fight. The challenge is that there's less space to move. There's a risk of lava on the sides, and there are 2 giant spikes above the edges of the platform. The firepower did help a little, but it was mainly jump attacks. That cleared the level.
Mario number 1! Woohoo!
For World 6-5, firepower might be better than ice flower. That's because of this thing. While it can be frozen, it doesn't stay frozen for long. Actually, there's hardly any delay at all. But with firepower, that stops the trouble for a little while. The first star coin is a bit of a trap. It's like the fish are fishing for Mario. Right now, that spiky fish is not here. But like clockwork, trouble returns. Fortunately, this level is good with power-ups. Collecting the second star coin is a similar situation. But fortunately, it's easier to hop out of this space. Such haste won't be necessary if you can take out the spiky fish before going for the coin. With that strategy, the second star coin is not too much trouble. This is where World 6-5 gets a little confusing. There are 2 exits. So here I'm just going to the standard exit. That leads to the next level. But since the third star coin is still missing, it's back to World 6-5. There's a hidden block in the middle of 4 floating question blocks. Hitting the invisible block raises a beanstalk. This little detour solves 2 problems. First, in this cloudy area, a star coin can be found. Using the propeller block, Mario can reach the coin. But also, just to the right of this coin, there's a flagpole with a red flag. That means an alternate exit. It's a shortcut to the World 6 castle. But since there's more work to be done here, it's onward to the next level. This is one of my favorite levels in the game. Even from the slide at the beginning, there's a sense of adventure. It's like you're going on a trip, a boat trip. It's in a dark cave, but this boat has a searchlight. It's controlled with the Wiimote. That extra element of gameplay creates a sense of exploration. It's nice. So, how do you get the first star coin? Oh well, as you're floating along on this romantic cruise, there's a POW block. Jump up to grab it, then hold on to it. Once the boat is safely under the star coin, toss the block onto the boat. What's nice about this level is that I'm not stuck on the boat. After grabbing star power, Mario jumps into the water. It's a colorful dash to the checkpoint. For the second star coin, the trampoline helps. Near a power-up block, the star coin will be spinning. It's a little high up. That's the point of the trampoline. With a good jump, the coin can be in reach. The third star coin is hiding up top. With good spotlight control, the location is revealed. The bats are not helping. But once again, the trampoline is helpful. Just bounce to the higher platform and then grab the coin. This is where the level gets tricky. First, there are turtles throwing fireballs. That can be a dangerous problem. However, there's a secret exit near here. With all the chaos, the red pipe in the ceiling can be missed. But in the middle of the first two turtles is the alternate way to go. This leads to a dark cave with bats. Lots of bats. But if you can make it through to the other side, the red flag awaits. This opens up a spirally descent to the World 6 cannon. That can blast Mario to World 8. But with the work not yet done in World 6, it's a return to the boat level. The way to go is not complicated. Just don't take the secret exit. Instead, ride the boat to the end of the level. That can be tough with all of the bats and fireballs. But I think this level has the right amount of challenge. It's not too easy, but it's not too difficult either. World 6 Castle is the giant pendulums level. I don't have much else to say about that. So let's go get the first star coin. The first star coin is actually a lot of fun. Although that's with the ice flower. That's because you'll need something to throw. Ah, a volunteer. Well, once you have a block of ice, carefully jump along the revolving bricks. Then, once on the upper platform, take out the line of enemies. The best part is the one-up mushroom at the end. That was nice. The second star coin is hanging out here at the top. It's just a matter of using the blocks to jump high up. Also, it's important to avoid the rolling spikes. Well, go ahead. Jump, Mario. The third star coin is chaotic. It's difficult to not take damage here. So the strategy here is to keep moving forward. It doesn't matter if it's Super Mario or just regular Mario. The coin counts the same. Fortunately, there's a power-up block just before the boss fight. There's not much to this battle. It's your standard 3 hits to win. And regular-sized Mario gets the key.
Mario #1! Woohoo!
There are 3 airship levels in this game, and this is one of them. The second airship level means that World 6 is not quite done yet. This one's not too bad, except that the enemies don't respect tools. Do you know how much a good wrench costs? Well, I suppose they're not that expensive. Those are not even adjustable wrenches. But this is not a tool guide, it's a star coin guide. So the first star coin is here. It's behind some boxes that are easily smashed. That makes the first star coin fairly easy to get, if you can avoid the wrenches. The second star coin is beneath the airship. The main challenge is with the spinning wheels. This level has auto-scrolling, which forces Mario to hop on the spinning platforms. But if done correctly, the second star coin is in reach. Don't forget that Mario can add a little spin to his jump. That extra little bit of range might help. The third star coin is similar to the first star coin. It's just a matter of smashing some boxes. The main difference here is that there's a patrolling enemy. But that's not really a problem if you time your jump. That just leaves the boss fight. It's another 3 hits to win battle. However, what counts as a hit? It's the stream of electricity on the sides. It just knocks your foe into that area. At first I was wondering, why is this taking so long? But then I realized I could spin attack. Once that technique was mastered, the battle ended quickly. I didn't even have to get that last hit. I just had to stay out of the way.
Mario's number one! Woohoo!
World 7 is in the clouds. In other words, it's a sky area. So I didn't even mess around. I went back to get the propeller. On this level, there are lots of these colorful blocks. They move, which makes jumping treacherous. But with the propeller, this level is a lot safer. The first star coin is not hidden. It's just spinning next to a red pipe. Again, the propeller makes things easier. But if you don't have that, a wall jump off the pipe from the height of the purple block can get the job done. The second star coin is above two green blocks. They alternate so only one sticks out at a time. With good timing and a good jump, the star coin can be reached. Once the coin is collected, the level continues via the green pipe in the sky. Towards the end of the level, the third star coin can be found. It's just hanging out in the sky. Despite the height, it is in range of a normal jump. When jumping from the purple block, Mario can easily reach the coin. The problem is making the landing. That's why the propeller is nice. Mario can float safely to a nearby platform. From there, the green pipe is the exit to the flagpole. That wraps up the first level in World 7. World 7-2 is the Chain Chomp level. Or is it a water level? There are these giant bubbles that Mario can swim through. It's kind of fun. Eventually, the first star coin will be in view. The problem is that it's blocked. Mario will need to destroy the bricks in order to reach the coin. That's where the Chain Chomp can help. Just smash the post 3 times. It can be very dangerous, as that Chain Chomp is quite aggressive. But with careful movement, the path can be cleared. The second star coin starts with this green pipe. It's a bit obscured by the clouds, so it can be easy to miss. Basically, it's near a power-up block. Once on the other side of the pipe, there are lots of water bubbles. The objective is obvious. Swim from the bubble to reach the star coin. The main challenge is not falling down. It's not too bad if you're careful, and it's certainly easier than evading those chain chomps. The third star coin has a little problem. If you got the second star coin first, then the third one could easily be missed. That's because the third one is found on the upper path, while the second one is found on the lower path. So, to avoid having to repeat the level, it's good to know the location of the star coins before starting the level. The flagpole is not too far from the third star coin or the exit from the second star coin. But watch out for the bullets. World 7-3 is a little crazy. It's mainly an area with rails, but on those rails are these wacky looking things. So the main part of the level is just avoiding them. Fortunately, the propeller is common on this level, so I mainly have Mario fly around them. Evasion is not so easy with the first star coin. It's located in the middle of the chaos. So it's just a matter of careful timing and a really good jump. With the second star coin, I was just trying not to die. Just as I was about to make the next jump, Mario bumped his head on a beanstalk. Where does this go? It goes to the second star coin. The P-switch turns the coins into blocks, making it trivial to grab this coin. The third star coin is lower on the screen. The main problem is with the hostiles that are also on the track. Again, Mario just flies around them, but staying close enough to grab the coin. The madness is not over yet. Those critters can get even bigger. The plan is still to avoid them. The propeller helps with that. With some fancy flying, Mario should be able to reach the flagpole safely. The level design of the World 7 Fortress is impressive. There's a lot going on here. But the main idea is with this platform. It slowly climbs upwards, building the suspense. Eventually, cannons start firing towards Mario. It's a challenge to not get hit. It gets even more chaotic towards the top. That's where to find the first star coin. Giant enemies fill the screen. Mario has to avoid them and carefully grab the coin. That part was not too bad. This is World 7, so you should be pretty skilled at this point in the game. The real difficulty of this level is with its secrets. The second star coin is an example of that. How does Mario reach that coin? Oh well, it can't be reached from inside. There's a hidden pipe on the outside. Instead of rushing to the green pipe, it's a matter of steering the platform towards the left side of the screen. Mario can jump above and then take a secret entrance inside. That's how to collect the second star coin. The third star coin involves blasting. The challenge is controlling the walking bombs. Not only does Mario need to make a good toss, he has to not get blown up in the process. It's a little tricky, but it's not too bad. Just grab the coin before going through the doors. The boss fight is also not too bad. While the projectiles chase Mario, they're pretty slow. Here I almost managed to use just fireballs. But the final two hits were stomps to the head.
Mario #1!
With the World 7 Ghost House, there's no waiting. The first star coin is right there. The way inside is blocked, but the boxing ghost helps with that. You don't even need to fight it. It's the 1980s defensive style that I learned from the Karate Kid movie. You could fight the ghosts if you want, such as throwing a barrel at them, but it's not required for the first or second star coins. What is required is getting out of here. That involves this door, which leads to this room. This is an exhibit of the opposite of evasion. Mario doesn't move left or right. Instead, he falls straight down. Following the trail of coins would have been way smarter. Anyway, once on the ground, there are lots of doors to choose from. Hilariously, it was the last one I picked. That leads to a room with a large ghost. Just lure it away to reveal the second star coin. With the coin collected, the door on the right is the way out. That leads to the flagpole. However, we're not done with this level yet. On the return trip to the ghost house, there are two things to locate. First, we're still missing the third star coin, but also there's an alternate exit. Fortunately, both objectives are on the same path. That starts here. Behind this wall is a secret door. It is a bit more difficult to get past this ghost, so 3 bops to the head clears the way. On the other side, this room is a bit of a chore. One of the top priorities is avoiding the ghosts. Another priority is to climb. There's a hidden beanstalk, which helps a little, but there's more to go. A second beanstalk involves this P-switch. I should have brought the propeller. But anyway, the immediate goal is to reach this door. It seems like the star coin would be hiding out up here, but that's just some regular coins. Well, let's go, Mario. Take the door. You're running out of time. After walking through the door, the real secret is here. There's another door on the lower left. That leads to a room with a third star coin. A P-switch can be used to reach the coin. The door at the top right is fake. The way out is the same way in. Once back outside, it's a quick sprint to the alternate flagpole.
This way.
World 7-4 has a nice game mechanic. It's these sliding platforms. They're movable with the Wiimote. This part of the level is more like a tutorial. No words are used, it's just the letter M. Once you've mastered the puzzle, you can move on to the next part of the level. For the first star coin, it starts off with lots of moving pipes, and lots of cannons firing bullets. Towards the end of this part, there's a giant cannon, firing giant bullets. The main challenge is not getting hurt, but it's a simple jump otherwise. Once the coin is collected, the non-moving red pipe is the exit. For the second star coin, that's where the moving platforms matter. You don't have to overthink it. When you see the second star coin, just keep the platforms at the left. Jumping from the top platform, it's easy to grab the coin. Once you're safely on the lower platform, just slide through the level. This part of the game could have been way more complicated. For the third star coin, it's near the end of the level. There are two pipes in the sky. The red one is easier to reach, which is why it's the wrong one to use. To get the star coin, it's the green pipe on the right. You don't need the propeller to make it. It helps, but you can bounce off the bullets instead. Once on the other side, the coin is on the left. The game is a little ridiculous about ammo at this point, but it's not too bad to bounce to the coin. Once the coin is collected, the red pipe is the way forward. That leads to the flagpole. World 7-5 is kinda cute. These little cloud makers obscure the view. How adorable. A little firepower solves that problem. It's good to clear the air right away, as the first star coin is near the beginning. It's right in the middle of this big jump. It's kinda hard to miss it, actually. This might be one of those tutorial coins. And now that you know how the clouds work, this second star coin is tougher to get. I was getting ready to use fancy flying, as Mario is wearing the propeller suit. However, there is a much easier solution to this coin problem. There's a P-switch hidden in this block. The clouds can't hide it. That's because I heard the click. With a simple toggle, the second star coin is much easier to collect. The clouds became a problem with the third star coin. I didn't see that Goomba. And the ability to fly was lost. Fortunately, no special abilities are needed here. A simple cloud stomp, followed by a walk into the cave, reveals the third star coin. After collecting the coin, the level is almost over. The flagpole is just a screen length away. Well, widescreen anyway.
Mario time.
The World 7 Castle is another level that makes use of these giant spikes. It was like the Giant Spike Depot was having a sale on giant spikes. Mario takes a lot of damage on this run, but he keeps going. That leads to the first star coin. If I didn't just lose the propeller, this would be easy. Instead, it's a good thing that giant undead turtles are bouncy. That gets Mario the height he needs to reach the coin. The way to the next star coin is in the middle of these two giant spikes. Do you see the way to go? The clouds are hiding a green pipe. It's also hard to see it when you're fighting to stay alive. On the other side, the chaos continues. With all of the clouds, you might not see the spikes. Fortunately, there's a power-up block here. And with a little spinning, the location of the star coin is revealed. With the coin collected, the way out is at the top right. Keep avoiding the spikes until you get to this power-up block. The third star coin is hidden above. That's what's nice about this level. Even though there's lots of damage, there are lots of power-ups too. If you can keep the trouble to a minimum, Mario can make it through. There's an excellent example of this towards the end of the level. There are so many spikes. So I just kept running. In retrospect, it might have been better to duck when in front of the arrow signs. There seems to be a little bit of space there. But this method worked. And fortunately, there was a hidden mushroom along the wall. There seems to be a green pipe up there. That seems significant somehow. The 3 star coins were collected. Only the boss fight remains. So let's beat the boss. It's a standard 3-hit fight, but it's a little more difficult. There's a significant risk of falling. Also, the enemy projectiles cover a wide area. But with careful jumping and picking good locations to stand, this fight is winnable. We're not ready for World 8 just yet. There's a problem. World 7-6 was completely missed. We still need those star coins. So, where is that level? There's an alternate exit from the fortress. While trying to find it, I was running out of options. In frustration, I started searching backwards from the top. While falling down, Mario landed exactly where he needed to be. There's a hidden pipe, which leads to an alternate flagpole. That leads to World 7-6.
Let's go.
This level is a cute one. And surprisingly, it's a Yoshi level. Well, that was short-lived. Anyway, the first star coin is pretty isolated. Even with the propeller, it can be tough to reach. Fortunately, these red flying things descend if Mario is standing on them. A well-timed jump essentially transports Mario to the star coin. While the first star coin was down low, the second star coin is up high. It's a bit hidden in the clouds. It's also raining 1-up mushrooms for some reason. So, not only did Mario get the coin, he's back at 99 lives again. That's like the equivalent of 11 cats. Interesting, there's another one of those mushrooms. Anyway, the third star coin is here. It's down low again. The technique is the same as before. Pick your transportation and then ride it to the coin. With the coins collected, Mario takes the top pipe to the top of the flagpole. And now all of the World 7 star coins are collected. This opens up a shortcut to the top of the castle. It starts out in a secret room, which leads to a green pipe. So that was the reason for the pipe in the ceiling. We already did this part. So let's get out of here and move on to World 8. With World 8, the intensity increases. This level pushes you forward as you have to outrun a toxic cloud. Meanwhile, hot rocks rain down from above. Also, you don't want to miss important jumps or you could end up in the lava. It's a tough world, but this is where to save Peach. We're also here to collect star coins. The first one is not hidden. It's just near the top of the screen. The problem is that the rocks drop in from the top too. Mario took damage, but he got the coin. Fortunately, there are power-ups on this level. There's also a POW block here. That's what's important with the second star coin. Just toss it near the question blocks, then be ready to collect your prize. The third star coin is near the end of the level. The problem is with the brick wall. Fortunately, the falling rocks can help. That big one just cleared the path. Once on the other side, get through the bricks to get to the coin. Super Mario can smash through, or again the falling rocks can help. The main concern is getting out before the toxic cloud catches up. While wrapping up the level, just watch out for the falling platforms. A lot of heartbreaking failure was edited out.
Oh yeah, Mario time!
But this time, Mario makes it to the flagpole. World 8-2 starts out like 8-1, but this level quickly goes underground. Spinning wheels are the main feature of this level. Without much offense, it's tough to fight off the Goombas, so you might want to power up before starting this level. The first star coin is located at a significant distance into the level. At least it's not hidden. Some basic platform jumping can yield this star coin. If you're having problems powering up, the red coins are helpful. After collecting 8, Mario grabs the ice flower. Even though Mario took damage, it still worked out. With the area cleared out, Mario can calmly grab star power. From there, it's an invincibility run to the second star coin. It's hidden in the wall, next to a red pipe and a yellow pipe. For the third star coin, a large spiky ball took out the bricks, and then bounced back to cause trouble for Mario. In running away, that led straight to the third star coin. It's hidden in the wall beneath the green pipe. That pipe leads to the flagpole. A triple jump can get Mario to the top. And he's back at 99 lives again. We're not done with World 8-2 yet. Do you see that lower platform? That's the clue to one of the biggest skips in the entire game. It's not quite as far-reaching as a warp cannon, but this cuts World 8 in half. Instead of 10 levels, this shortcut passes 5 of them. But since we're going for the star coins, it means World 8-3 is next.
This way!
This level is pretty wavy. That's waves of lava. The peak of the waves are higher than the platforms, which makes it tougher for Mario to travel through the level. But if you can keep going, eventually Mario reaches these two chandelier-looking things. Below the second one is the first star coin. This platform will drop if Mario stands on it, so lower the platform to safely reach the coin. Once the coin is collected, jump to get out of there. The second star coin is near a curvy part of the level. Since the lava moves right to left, that's the safer way to approach this coin. Mario can loop around and easily grab the coin. The third star coin doesn't have such safety. Mario has to move against the lava. The flying enemy doesn't help either. But with careful timing, Mario can grab this coin too. From there, just don't die. But if you look at the remaining lives, clearly there was some trouble. But with enough persistence, it's just 2 more chandelier jumps to the flagpole. In the World 8 Fortress, I thought I'd be cute with the propeller. But there was just too much fire. So here's how to get the first star coin with just normal jumps. There are platforms that move sideways. Mario can get close to the coin by jumping up the right side. Once at the same height as the coin, wait for the right moment. Then watch the landing. The second star coin is just before the third one. There's a secret door that is hidden very close. Inside this secret room, there's lots of fire. Fortunately, there's a power-up in here. The timer is pretty short for a fortress level. But Mario waits for his moment. There it is! Go for it, buddy! Nice. Once the star coin is collected, just exit through the same door. Now the third star coin awaits. This one is a simple slide, but it needs proper timing. It's not too bad if you're careful. Then grab the checkpoint to lock in those 3-star coins. Only the boss fight remains. It's a little tricky as the magical attacks cause the platforms to disappear, often to be replaced with more enemies. The real challenge is landing hits against a teleporting enemy. But finally, firepower was useful.
Mario #1!
World 8-4 is dark. It's also a water level. So this one should be fun. Getting the first star coin is not too bad. Just get past the spiky balls, then jump up to the upper platform. From there, take out the enemies. Once the way is clear, the first star coin is easy to get. The second star coin is locked up. A switch is used to clear the way. But that also surrounds Mario with hostile enemies. Even with firepower, I couldn't fight them off. So I just swam to the coin and then I got out of there. For the third star coin, I was just trying to stay alive. But then Mario was just pushed into the coin. That's World 8-4. World 8-5 has movable platforms, which are controlled by tilting the Wiimote. That can make this level difficult. There's not much opportunity to practice before the first star coin appears. With quick and careful movements, Mario can avoid the bombs, and then jump up to grab the coin. Not far from the checkpoint flag, the second star coin can be found. Since it's extremely close to the lava, tossing a bomb at the coin is an easy solution to this problem. The giant streams of lava also make this part difficult. The third star coin is near here, in this area with crows. Over here I was trying to grab the coin by jumping from the platform, but with all the crows, it's distracting. Fortunately, the crows can be helpful. Bouncing off of one is enough height to reach the coin. After that, the level is almost over. There's a red pipe at the end of the track. Once on the other side, the flagpole is right there. World 8-6 is mostly vertical. The challenge is climbing fast enough to stay ahead of the rising lava. Fortunately, the propeller is on this level. Actually, it's more than once. With getting the first star coin, the propeller is not needed. It's really helpful though. Although, getting to the left side of the screen is what's important. That's the location of the coin. If you miss it, then the level has to be repeated to get all of the star coins. The propeller is not required for the second star coin either. Instead of a quick flight, wall jumping works too. But again, it's a matter of taking the left route. The third star coin also doesn't require the propeller. Mario can just stand on this spatula-looking thing. Once the coin is collected, get out of there. The flagpole is just on the other side of the red pipe. World 8-7 is one of the best levels in the game. But first things first, no ground pounds. Mario almost slid off this moving platform. Except this is no normal platform, it's a roller coaster. It lets out a roar as it falls from the height of the track. It's pretty fast too. Even though this level is something of an auto-scroller, it's not boring. It's a wild ride. While the climb upwards is a little slow, that builds the tension. Then swoosh, Mario has to make quick jumps. The path of the track has lots of sudden turns. It's a well-designed level. So that's great, but where are the star coins? Well, the first one is hovering over the lava. Mario needs to jump just right to get it. Did you miss it? Here it is again in slow motion. Mario stands towards the middle, waiting as long as possible, then jumping towards the front when the skull emerges from the lava. That's just epic. The second star coin is not far from the checkpoint. Powering up is a good idea, as there is a high risk of damage. But with careful jumping, Mario can leap over the lava streams and grab the second star coin. On the final run, the third star coin can be found. What's special about this part is that there are two of these things. By jumping from the lower track to the upper track, Mario can grab the coin. That was quick. So here it is again in slow motion. The high speed might cause panic. This level can be a lot more challenging the first time it is played. But once you know what to expect, it's not so bad. Once you have the 3-star coins, the goal is to complete the level. The finale of this ride is chaotic, but it leads straight to the flagpole. Very nice level.
Oh yeah, Mario time!
This is the final airship level in the game. Unlike the previous airship level, this one doesn't auto-scroll, which is nice. That lets me do an amazing trick with the first star coin. While the propeller is common on this level, it's not needed to grab the first star coin. Instead, just hop off the cannonballs. Not only does this give Mario the necessary height to grab the coin, he can stay airborne with the constant bouncing. This leads to lots of points and 1-ups. The second star coin is near the checkpoint, but here I'm skipping that flagpole. That way, both star coins can be locked in. The second star coin is so close that expanding the checkpoint could be useful. The trick is not getting hit. That's why I like to move up the right side. I can sneak into the space and grab the coin. Once the second star coin is collected, then the checkpoint can be activated. I didn't do that though. The third star coin is hidden. This spinning bolt reveals the location. It's pretty far out though. That's where the propeller can help. Mario can just jump down there and then fly out. That just leaves the boss fight. The trick here is to ground pound the floor. That will create a ripple, sending the spiky ball back at the enemy. Just do that 3 times to win.
Mario's number 1! Woohoo!
This is it, the final level in World 8. The princess is not in another castle. Although I don't want to ruin the ending. This is one of the best boss battles in the history of video games. And even though this level is very reminiscent of the original Super Mario Bros. Game, the ending here shows how far video games have progressed. And let's be real, if you've made it this far, you shouldn't have much trouble collecting the remaining coins. Just look at the first star coin. There are a bunch of white platforms, but one is above a line of coins. And one of those coins is the first star coin. The second star coin is located in an auto-scrolling part of the level. The coin will be on the right side. A simple wall slide gets the job done. As for the third star coin, it's here. This part reminds me of an earlier Phoenix TV video. The Nintendo Wii, is it any good today? Well, roughly 2 years later, we have an answer. The new Super Mario Bros. Wii is fun. I think it still deserves the word new in the title. If you haven't played it, you might like it. And if you have played it, you might have forgotten it. Playing this game felt like playing a new game. And while I'm not showing the ending, the credits are pretty cool. Such fun.
Oh, yeah!
However, the game is not over yet. With all of the star coins collected, World 9 opens up. So the star coin quest continues.
Let's go.
World 9 is difficult. That's because if you've unlocked this area, you're a skilled player. It's supposed to be challenging. And even though this level looks normal, the positioning of the enemies and power-ups makes things just a little off. It's somehow more challenging, even though the level looks familiar. That's why I'm using the propeller. It creates more opportunity to find safe spots. It also makes jumping to the next platform just so much easier. A perfect example is with the first star coin. It's just so simple. No turtle shell bouncing, just fly to the coin. It's the same story with the second star coin. While Mario is wearing the propeller suit, he doesn't have to fly. It's just slower, a little more dangerous, but the coin is still in reach. That's why the propeller is great. You don't have to wait for these things to spin around. When using regular jumps, that extra height from the block is necessary. The third star coin is hidden in an area on the other side of this green pipe. Unfortunately, I couldn't hold on to the propeller, but instead of repeating the level, just a little patience is needed to grab the coin. Well, a really good jump is needed too. But again, if you've made it here, it's not too bad. It's a bit more jumping to reach the flagpole, but the top of that flagpole is well within reach. On World 9-2, our fishy friend is back. You'd think after 71 levels I would have gotten better at avoiding those spikes. Unfortunately, it's still a problem. These descending platforms don't help either. I tried to get out of the way, but it wasn't enough. Mario is now little, but he's mighty enough to grab the first star coin. Just wait for the platform to descend towards the coin. Then, once the coin is collected, keep jumping to get up and out of there. Now the spiky fish can't reach Mario. Also, using this turtle shell can help Mario get strong again. It clears out the bricks, opening the way to a power-up. It even takes out the spiky fish. Now Mario is ready for the second star coin. There's an obvious green pipe which can be reached with the lowering platform. Once on the other side, just wait until the fish turns around. Mario can get the star coin and get out of there before the big fish can even react. That just leaves the third star coin. It's tucked away behind some bricks. These turtles can help with that problem. Just toss one at the bricks. That opens the way for Mario to reach the coin. The shell can even take out the big spiky fish. With the way cleared, Mario can just calmly travel to the third star coin. The flagpole is very close. It's just on the other side of these flying red turtles. Those turtles can be used to reach the top of the flagpole. Or Mario can just clear the level. While the propeller is normally my preferred power-up, ice can be very useful here. That's because the level is loaded with homing bullets. The ice ball stops them instantly, but also turns them into platforms. Ice also stops the wandering turtles, which is also useful. But we're here for the star coins. The first one is on the other side of this green pipe. It leads to a maze, but Mario only has one chance to clear the maze. Otherwise, the level has to be restarted. Once the P-switch is activated, it's a dash to the star coin. The right side seemed easier, but there's a left path too. Either way, Mario needs to get to the center before the coins turn back into bricks. Once the coin is collected, the green pipe can blast Mario back outside the maze. The second star coin starts with a green pipe in the sky. Having the propeller can be helpful, but if you don't have that, jumping off the bullets gets the necessary height. Once on the other side, it's a P-switch run. With the switch activated, a long line of blue coins will show which way Mario should go. In other words, the blue coins lead straight to the star coin. The third star coin is located near the larger bullets. Treat those enemies like trampolines because that's how Mario can reach the star coin. After that, it's a bit more jumping to the green pipe that leads to the flagpole. On the other side, there is some danger here, yet that can also be a boost to the top. World 9-4 is an auto-scroller with bombs, lots and lots of bombs. Since there are so many enemies on this level, Ice Flower is a nice power-up. The background shows the desert area, so it's nice to cool things down. This is an excellent example of that. But for the first star coin, there's an even better way to clear out the bombs. Using this POW block here results in lots of points and lots of 1-ups. Awesome. From there, a wall jump off the blue pipe is a way to reach the star coin. With the second star coin, it's tough to defend the falling platforms from the bombs. So look for a safe spot to stand. But those bombs are useful. Just toss one at the star coin. That solves that problem. For the third star coin, I'm using the Ice Flower power-up. That's because I need to create a platform. The red pipe is the way to go, so the piranha plant is frozen, allowing Mario to travel through. That sends Mario straight to the star coin. and to the end of the level. World 9-5 is another penguin level. It kinda reminds me of Ice Climber, as Mario has to move vertically. And if you keep moving upwards, eventually the first star coin will appear. There's a constant stream of penguins flowing out of the green pipe, but that's the way to go to unlock the coin. That's where the penguin suit can help. Either freeze the penguins or throw ice blocks at them. It's a bit of a struggle to move forward, but it's not too bad if you watch the timing. The second star coin is on the left side. Maybe there's a more intelligent way to get this coin, but I just tried wall jumping. It took a little effort to get up there, but it was not too bad. That seemed like an easier way to avoid the penguins. The third star coin is near these crazy looking things. Fortunately, the power-ups are plentiful on this level. And with a good ice ball toss, a very dangerous part of this level is neutralized. Although the jumps are tricky, if you miss, you could fall. But there's no lava here, so it's just a matter of climbing back up. Trying again. Nice. So I had been playing this level as if I had all the time in the world. But after looking at the timer, it was clear that I needed to get moving. Fortunately, after the star coins are collected, there's not much left to this level. Once on the other side of the pipe, the flagpole is not far away. World 9-6 brings back that Lava Land excitement. Getting all 3 star coins here can be difficult. The propeller is recommended. A good example of that is with the first star coin. Mario can just float downwards, gently landing on the block of rock. But inside, this rock is hollow. With a simple wall slide, Mario can go inside. The second star coin is in the middle of these geysers of lava. Mario can reach the coin by jumping. The challenge is getting back out. That's where wall jumping can help. The propeller wasn't necessary here, but it was nice to have. So now you might be thinking, I thought you said this level was difficult. The problem is with the last star coin. Getting to that far corner is tricky, but immediately following that, this troublemaker usually appears. That's why the propeller is great here. Just fly in and fly out. And once safely on the other side of the pipe, Mario can reach the flagpole. World 9-7 is one of the most difficult levels in the game. That's until you figure out what's going on here. The game is forcing you to speedrun. With the fire-breathing piranha plants, the safe places to stand are slowly being removed. The best way to manage that problem is to run. Run as fast as possible. You can see how slowness is a problem with the first star coin. As Mario is trying to jump up towards the coin, the piranha plants are removing the ice blocks. Mario is also under fire, so it's tough to get the star coins. The second star coin is beneath these blocks of ice. That's why it's good to have firepower. Mario can blast a hole through to the star coin. The third star coin was messy. That's because these 2 fiery turtles are a problem. They're melting the blocks. However, some blocks need to be melted in order to reach the coin. But since Mario just lost firepower, these were the blocks left. It was just enough space to get the coin, but I wasn't sure if it was enough space to get out. Fight, Mario! You can do it! Nice! He got it. All that's left to do is clear the level. So, we made it. This is the last level of the game. It's the bouncy cloud level. It's a little zany. It's as if the game is saying goodbye in a fun and friendly way. This level is nowhere near as difficult as the previous level. The 9-8 is a little challenging, but that's mainly because it's so different from a typical level. It's also an auto-scroller. At some point, the first star coin will scroll into view. The propeller makes short work of that coin. It's a similar story with the second star coin. The difference here is that the coin can be reached with just a good cloud bounce. The third star coin is a destructive finale. 2 humongous bullets clear the way to the coin. After that, it's the end of the game. Mario can grab the flagpole and confirm that every star coin was collected.
Yeah. Yahoo! What?
There's the official message. So, hopefully this video was helpful and fun. Thanks for watching.